Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Robert Ziggy Ziegler coming in here for what'll probably be a pretty quick video. I'm just out here to react to what we saw from JJ McCarthy in this preseason game versus the Houston Texans. It's been a while as a Vikings fan since I've seen him out on the field. We don't do just Packers videos here, it turns out. So I want to talk a little bit about what we saw from JJ McCarthy, even though it was only one drive. In general, I'm pretty excited from what I saw. I thought he looked pretty good out there. I'm seeing some different reactions on the internet. I figured, look, if you got a podcast audience of people, you might as well throw your take out there. That's what we do here anyway. So my goal is just to talk through a little bit what I saw from JJ McCarthy. Now, just to set the stage for you a little bit, almost every Viking starter was out there. Aaron Jones obviously didn't play because he's older. Darisaw didn't play because he's recovering. Justin Jefferson didn't play because of the hamstring injury. But other than that, we got four of the five offensive line starters, including Jackson, our first round draft pick. You got Jordan Addison, you got Jalen Naylor, you got Jordan Mason. We got to see what he was able to do with the running back position. So even though obviously Justin Jefferson is a game-changing player and the key to that Vikings offense, you had a pretty good idea of what things would look like just based on who was out there. JJ McCarthy was working with basically nine people on the first team offense, which is not a bad number at all. The Texans are playing mostly backups on the defense, so obviously a little bit of a mismatch there. But you know, obviously it's the Minnesota Vikings. It's JJ McCarthy. They're going to be running the ball a lot. The big thing that stood out to me, you got to see this on third and fourth on the first set of downs, and then second and six on the second set. The JJ McCarthy Jordan Addison connection is there. Whether it was converting a big third and fourth with a nice pickup, or JJ McCarthy making what I thought was a great throw with pressure in his face. Jackson unfortunately gave up a pressure there on, I believe it was second and six. JJ McCarthy had an awesome connection to Jordan Addison for about 20 yards there. So my first takeaway is like JJ McCarthy is connecting with these wide receivers. If you think back with the Green Bay Packers, one of the big issues Jordan Love had his first season was forming a connection with the receivers. It's really important that that's there for Jordan Addison. Justin Jefferson is obviously our number one, and Addison will be missing the first couple of games of the season. But Addison's an important part of this offense. When he plays well, he's a 1,000 to 1,200 yard receiver, can haul in a bunch of touchdowns. It's just generally important to have a guy when teams put two or three players on Justin Jefferson. You need someone to be able to step up. So I was happy to see that. Second thing that stood out, those connections are obviously not all there. Lucky Jackson, there was a really bad missed throw that just went way over him. I mean, not a Sam Darnold level overthrow you saw of the Jets, but was well out of reach on an important third down. But that setup, I thought, a play that a lot of people might not be expecting JJ McCarthy to make if you're not a Vikings fan, if you aren't seeing what this guy can do. We got to see him scramble on fourth and four. Do not ask me the last time you saw a Vikings starting quarterback scramble for a first down on fourth and a lot. You know, Sam Darnold wasn't doing that really. Kirk Cousins sure wasn't doing that. JJ McCarthy, I actually expect to have somewhere between 300 to 400 rushing yards this season. He's one of those guys I think that you saw us from the Texans. They were happy sending a blitz on fourth down. They did not respect his rushing ability. NFC North teams are going to be watching out for that. You need to respect JJ McCarthy's ability to run the ball. So drive started off pretty well. It faded very quickly after that. It was a three and out. The Vikings only planned to give JJ McCarthy one drive, which I don't necessarily agree with. I know he got really hurt during preseason last year, but I think he could have used some more reps. This is still functionally a rookie quarterback. But overall, some of the things you saw of JJ McCarthy, bootlegs and play actions are going to be a big part of this offense. And in general, I was pretty happy with how he executed them. He was making the right reads, he was in the right position, he was making the throws. Obviously, the Lucky Jackson overthrow was not exactly what you want to see, but it was still pretty good, all things considered. I don't think that JJ McCarthy is a bad quarterback. I've seen some people saying that this shows they should have stuck with Sam Darnold. I didn't see that at all this game. Overall, I thought he actually looked pretty good out there. There were a few other players I was watching. I'll go over them quickly. Donovan Jackson didn't look great. Guard's a tough position to play in the NFL. It's his first preseason game. I'm not willing to put much stock in that. I would have liked to see him a little bit better. There were some things he did on an early play. I can't remember if it was the first or second play of the game on one of those Jordan Mason runs. He got beat and then reestablished himself and ended up performing a pretty good block. So that's nice to see, but we just didn't see a lot out of him. Dallas Turner had a great play on the very first snap he was in, and after that, sort of disappeared. It's going to be tough for him to get playing time. I know that defensive ends sometimes get rotated in, so he will get playing time there, but the Vikings have really strong defensive ends. And you saw how much they believe in Ivan Pace because they green dotted him for this game. He was the guy calling the defensive plays. So clearly they're very high on him, and I think they should be. He's an excellent pass rusher. But you've got him, you've got Van Ginkel, you've got Grenard. It's very difficult to get a spot on this defense. So Dallas Turner is going to have to show more. Any case, those are the players I was most excited to see. But really, the headline story here is JJ McCarthy. And I don't think he dominated. This wasn't an outstanding performance. But in the NFL preseason, you're not playing to win games. Now, obviously, coaches want to win. I don't mean they're not being competitive. But the thing to watch in preseason is how players execute concepts. You know, the reason everybody's talking about Anthony Richardson in that Colts game, you've probably seen him getting blown up on a sack. It wasn't just because the play outcome was bad and that he got hurt, but he wasn't reading effectively. He didn't understand a basic concept in the playbook in his third year. And regardless of whether the outcome of the play is good or not, you know, it's not the NFL season, right? More things matter than just what the outcome of the play is. It wasn't a good play from him. JJ McCarthy, I thought overall executed well. Clearly, his mobility is going to add a huge element on bootlegs, on play actions, on scrambles. But overall, I'm pleased. I would have liked to see him do a little bit more out there. I would have liked to see a few more drives of JJ McCarthy. But overall, solid performance, I think. If you like this video, feel free to throw in a like, a comment, click that subscribe button. We are taking off right now. We hit 20,000 just a few days ago. We're closing in on 20,500. We appreciate you all. And if you're seeing this right when it comes out, you would best believe there will be a Robert Ziggy Ziegler reaction to Jordan Love, Matthew Golden, all of the Green Bay Packers. I guess that's unfortunately sort of what we do here. But I'm not worried about that because JJ McCarthy looked great. We've got a quarterback. I cannot wait to see him week one. So that's going to be all from me. I will see you all later, and thanks for watching.